Hi babes. Sorry I haven't done a video. Like always, something comes up. But I hope everyone's been really good. I've been good. I got a dermal piercing. If you also subscribe to my Jose Ayala vlogs, you see when I get it pierced and the whole process of it. You know, a lot of people ask me like about my piercings and everything. So I vlogged it when they did the piercing for it. First dermal. I like it. It's healed really good. It's been like 2 weeks. But I hope everyone's been good. I love y'all. My diabetes been goes up and down, but I haven't been in the hospital, which I'm so thankful for. But yeah. So guys, you guys been asking me for my coming out story. I really wanted my mom to be in it. Come on, piercing, don't act stupid. This one pops out a lot. But I know a lot of y'all wanted like my mom. Well, I wanted her to be like in the coming out video if she could tell y'all from like her point of view. But I guess I'll have to do like a part 2 or something. God knows this lady is always busy. She's always working. She's always doing this. She's always cooking, cleaning. So it's like really hard to get a hold of her. Yeah, I barely see her anyways. So, but I love my mommy. Usually when we hang out, we go shopping and everything. But yeah. But my coming out story. I'm trying to think like, okay, well, since I was younger, I always kind of knew I was gay. I always knew I liked the boys. I remember when I was in the 7th grade, I met this boy named Tony. His name was Anthony, and he told me he was bisexual. I never knew what bisexual was. It was kind of like a what? And I personally never knew what bisexual was. And then he explained to me it's when you like boys and girls. And I was like, oh, so you can like both? So I just claimed I'm bisexual right away. And I remember when I was in the 6th, 7th grade, you know, people used to ask me, am I gay? And I used to be like, no, I'm bisexual. And when I was younger, I was never really the cute type. I was chunky, had no hair. My eyebrows were, I had a unibrow. It was just really, I was really ooey. Ooey, really bad. And like, I don't know, people like used to bother me and bully me when I was in school. And, you know, I thought being bisexual was cool. That was my way of feeling cool. And I remember people used to be like, "You're not bisexual." They thought I used to say that for an excuse to get attention in school. And I used to just be like, "Are you serious? Who makes oh yeah, I'm bisexual so you could get attention?" And I used to go to school in the Bronx in Theodore Roosevelt, and that school was really bad. And it was just like, are you serious? People used to bully me, bother me, and then it started getting to a point where like, you know, people were like, "Oh, fag," and this and that, and they used to bully me when I used to try to use the bathroom. I remember they used to like leave the bathroom. They used to, "Oh, you came in here because you want to suck my dick, right?" You know how the immature people were. But I used to let it get to me. I used to cry almost every day. And my mom used to be like, "Don't listen to them. You know who you are. I love you." And then I remember one day I met this boy. His name was Raymond. I was in like the 7th grade. He was like in the 9th or 10th. And I used to always hang out with him. I thought he was cool. And then I found out he was gay. And he liked me. And it was kind of like a weird feeling. Because like I knew I liked the boys. But I never really experimented or anything. I never kissed guys. And to this day I never kissed them. I never kissed them. But I just loved them right off the back. I love you. You know how it is when you're young. And I remember I wrote a letter to him, like a love letter. And my mom found it. And oh, by the way, this video might get personal. I'm gonna say some things maybe y'all gonna be like, but it's like there's my coming out story. You know, I'm gonna open up a little for y'all. You know, and my babes. Usually when I make videos, it's always because I've been through it, the whole suicide. You know, I know everything. I don't know everything, but you understand what I'm trying to say, right, guys? But like, she found a love letter I wrote to him, and I was like, no. I remember I came home from school and she was in the room just crying, crying and crying and crying. And I was like, what's going on? Like, I was scared. And I went to the room. I took my book bag off. I remember she goes, Bebo, come here. So I go to the room. She goes, sit down. So I sit down. And then she pulls out the letter and my heart dropped. I mean, I did the. And she goes, like, she started reading it to me. And I'm just there, like. Mm-hmm. And then, like, she tells me, like, are you gay? And I told her, you know what, Mom? I think I am. You know, because at the time I was dating a girl. And, like, I had a girlfriend for almost 3 years. So it was like, even when I was with her, I knew I was gay, but it was kind of like I was still finding myself. Like, I couldn't just right off the back be like, I'm gay. Like, you know, it's like you slowly open up to who you are. And it was just like, you know, by the way, I was like 12 years old, 11, when this happened. And, oh my God, like, she goes, are you gay? And I'm like, yeah. And she started crying. And but she told me, she goes, no matter what, Bebel, I'll love you. And she holds me, and I started crying too. And I was like, you know, thank you, Mommy, I love you. And she told me, like, no matter what, I'll always love you because you will be my son, you know. And from there, it was kind of like a downward spiral. That's what it's called. Like, everything just started falling. Like, we used to get into arguments, fights, and I felt it was because I was gay. And, like, she just was always down my throat. It was always because we were good. And, like, from there, like, fights just started popping out and arguments. And it was just hell. Like, pure hell. And I was 12, like, and that's when I went suicidal. And, you know, I started cutting myself. I started overdosing on pills. And I remember, like, I couldn't take it, like, the whole, like, gay thing. And I remember I overdosed on pills. My mom called 911. I got sent to the crazy hospital. I was sent there 2 or 3 times, but it was mainly for depression. But my mom sent me there because those places, it's not because you're crazy. It's usually because if they feel you're suicidal, they feel like you're going to harm yourself. They keep you there to, like, watch you. So my mom sent me there, and I thank her for that. I thank everyone for the help. I did need it. And it was, I remember after I came out, a few months went by, and I'm trying to remember, guys. Remember, I was like 11 or 12. And I remember I was in the sofa a couple months later. I was in the sofa. I came from school. I was relaxing. And she comes up to me and she sits down next to me. And before I say this, I used to always go to Philly because my grandma lived over there. And like, I used to always go over there to visit her. Like, I was big mama's boy. Like, I love my grandma to death. And I used to always go over there every, like, other weekend or every other month. I used to stay there. And my mom comes up to me and she goes, Bebo, I had a dream that this guy, he was like my uncle, my godfather, that he touched me in the dream. And I was in shock because it happened when I was younger. I was molested. I was, you know, I've been through that, the molestation, the rape. I've been through that. Do I let it define me? No. And I remember she tells me, like, Bebo, did it happen? And I said, yeah. And she just, like, I remember seeing her face go from, like, worried to, like, it was like a face that a mother doesn't want to go through. Like she's supposed to, when a mother is supposed to, like, watch you and be there, like your guardian angel, like just there for you. It felt as if she failed. And she called my grandma crying, and I had to go to court for it. I remember after my grandma found out about the rape and the molestation and everything, she got cancer, and I felt like it was my fault. for some, to this day, I feel like it was my fault. Like, um, and I remember I went to Philly, and we went to go press charges and everything. Like, I had to go to court, and I remember I'm sorry, guys. I remember we used to go to court, and I just, every time I used to see him, my stomach used to just be sick. And like, my grandma had cancer. She used to always go to the chemo, and we used to I used to always go over there for her, and I used to always go to support her, and she used to come to my court cases. And it got to a certain point where like she couldn't really come support my court cases anymore due to her cancer, because she started getting really sick. But it was like, I'm sorry, guys. Let me just, I'm like really like, ooh. I remember we used to go to court, and like, I was fighting the case. I was fighting it. I used to come from New York to Philly. That was a 2 hour, 2.5 hour to 3 hour drive. I used to go. They used to think we were not gonna come to the court case. You know what they used to do? They used to be like, "Oh, hi, you got a court case tomorrow," and we used to just go. They used to think we were not gonna go, and we were there. And I remember when I used to see his face, it used to get me sick, because I come to find out he did it to my other cousin, and my other cousin, I told him like, tell them like, help me in my case, like, this guy could do it to other boys. And him and his mother, they left to Florida. The mother didn't want anything to do with it. She left, and it was me, my grandma, my mom. I remember I was like 13, 14, going through this. Like, it was too much pressure on me. Like, and I was just so overwhelming, and like, coming out, and then my grandma. Then I remember when she found out I was gay, I was on MySpace, and my friend invited me to a gay page, like a gay page, whatever. And I was on it, and I went to the bathroom, and she took my laptop, and she saw it, and she started telling me, because she was a big like person on God, like religion, like she was a really really big on it. Every day we used to go to church mainly. I used to always bring my Pokemon game and play in the back while they were like in church. And she was like, "You're going to hell. You're gonna get AIDS, HIV," and I still loved her. I knew it was just her religion speaking, because she told me that, I will always be her baby, but God will burn me. But I love her. I remember when I used to go to the court, she used to always come and support me. And mind you, this guy had like literally like 30 people in the court. And I went with my mom, my aunt, my grandma. That was my support. That was my support team. And it just got to that point where I like started breaking down every night. Sorry guys, I don't want to get emotional, but yeah. But everyone has a different coming out story. But mine was very just like boom, 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 boom. And yeah, he only got probation. And his father, what got me mad, my hand, like, I don't know if you can see how this hand goes. You see I could open it. This one I could barely open it wide. Right here my bone is broken. His father was like, "Oh, Beb, I want to talk to you." So he starts talking to me. He tells me, "Oh, some people do bad things. And if you pray, God forgives them." He basically wanted me to pray for his son and to forgive his son. And I just got so mad that I went to punch him, and I missed, and I punched the wall, and my like arm, this hand broke, and I had to get like a cast. It was a dime roast. Like, everything was just falling. And then I was fighting the case for like 2 years. And then my grandma finally, like, she got really sick. She ended up in the hospital. And my last court case, I wanted her to be there, but she couldn't. And that's when they announced, he's gonna get probation. And yeah, I wish she was there. I know she was spiritually there with me. And but then I remember after the court case went, it was done with. I came back to New York, and you remember the psychics? You had to pay like for the minutes $10. Remember? Well, I did, and $10 every like week. And I remember I didn't pay my phone, so my phone was off for like a month. And when I finally turned it on, I got a text message from my aunt, and she goes, "Mama's like in the hospital in critical condition." And I told my mom like I need to go to Philly. I went to Philly. I went over there. She was in a coma, and I remember I was there crying, because she was like my main support system. And I get very emotional when I talk about this, because you know I am human. I have feelings, but I remember when I was over there. Fuck. I don't want to really cry, but I remember my aunt was in the bed with her, and she was telling her like, you done enough for us, so you don't need to keep fighting. And I remember she passed away, like that same night, and I couldn't believe it. I literally went numb for like a good year or two. I literally went numb. I couldn't believe it. I started, doing drugs like ecstasy, and I became a really big drinker. And it was just like your support system just gives up on you. It's like, wow. Like I still had my mom and my aunt, but it was like I was always, that was my like main thing. And oh, ew, a booger went in my mouth. But yeah, guys, that's like my coming out story. I don't know what